To it. 3 ways in which the Shaitan may deceive us in the month of Ramadan, starting with number 1, getting us to focus only on the physical aspects of fasting. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man lam yada' qawl az-zur wal 'amal bihi, falaysa lillahi hajatun an yada'a ta'amahu wa sharabah." That a person who doesn't leave off bad speech or evil speech and bad actions or bad deeds, then Allah is not in need that this person leaves their food and their drink. So sometimes we only focus on that aspect because it is the most visible aspect of fasting, not eating and not drinking. We may only focus on that. When in actuality, Ramadan, the blessings of Ramadan they're supposed to permeate through all of our deeds. Meaning not only are we not eating and drinking, but we're making a special effort to improve the rest of our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, whether it be our speech, our actions, controlling our tongues, controlling our behavior. When it comes to our tongues, the Prophet gave us a specific example. He told us that when someone comes and they argue with you or they're trying to fight with you, what should we say? We say, "Inni sa'im, inni sa'im." First and foremost, to remind ourselves, right, that, look, I'm in a state of worship to Allah, I'm in a state of obedience, and I don't have time for this. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to get into this because I want to make sure that I keep my speech pure and I keep my speech good. And also, this is a reminder for the person who is trying to argue with you. You remind them. You say, look, once again, I'm in a state of worship to Allah. I'm not going to get into this, right? I'm not going to ruin my tongue and my speech by arguing and fighting with you. So whether it be our speech or our sins or physical sins as well, our actions, just like we have the ability to not eat and drink, likewise we use that ability to leave off other sins as well. So whatever weaknesses or sins that we may be dealing with outside of the month of Ramadan, we use the month of Ramadan to try and treat those sins and deal with those sins as well. Number 2, leaving off important deeds for less important deeds. Now this is a very common thing that happens in the month of Ramadan, a powerful trick of the Shaitan by getting us to focus on deeds that are less important and leaving off more important deeds. For example, once again, very common in the month of Ramadan, you may find someone who, they make a special effort to pray Taraweeh. They may, stay up in the night and pray Qiyamul Layl, but they may miss the Fajr prayer. Or they may slacken their other prayers, their 5 daily prayers, which are far more important than Taraweeh and Qiyamul Layl, etc. Those 5 daily prayers, those are our obligations, and that should come first. Yes, I'm not saying don't pray Taraweeh, don't pray Qiyam, and so on and so forth, but it should not come at the expense of those things which Allah has obligated upon us. So the first thing that we do in the month of Ramadan, the thing that we focus on the most, is first and foremost fulfilling our obligations, those things that are obligated upon us, and leaving off those things which Allah has made haram or impermissible for us. Number 3, giving up hope. Now, we know that getting people to lose hope is one of the main goals of the Shaitan. How does this work in the month of Ramadan? Well, one of the ways that this may happen is that sometimes we start to compare ourselves to other people. We say, so-and-so, they're reciting so much Quran and they're praying so much and so on and so forth. And we look at ourselves and we're like, yeah, I have a difficult time doing that. And so what happens? The Shaitan comes and he convinces us that, look, we're just a bad person. We're just a bad Muslim. It's not in us. We're not good enough to do what other people are doing. Why bother? And that's why it's important that we don't compare our deeds to the deeds of other people. Rather, we focus on improving ourselves. So we compare ourselves to ourselves. So we compare how we are in the month of Ramadan to how we were before the month of Ramadan. As I said earlier, if we're dealing with issues and problems and sins before the month of Ramadan, we use the month of Ramadan to solve those problems and solve those sins. And whatever we were doing in terms of worship, we make sure that we're doing more than what we were doing before the month of Ramadan.